Guys, I'll give you a quick update about what's going on down here. Just after 10, our deputies responded. They were getting ready to serve an arrest warrant on a subject at 13167 Service Road. When they entered the home, they took fire. As a result of that, 2 of our deputies were struck. They were evacuated. There was heavy gunfire. They were evacuated, transported, one by ground, one by air, both to UC. They're currently in stable condition. One is in surgery. Their families have been notified, and as you can see behind me, we have a very active response and of course a very active scene with our SWAT team currently executing their operation.
Is the suspect in custody?
No, the suspect is currently barricaded as it stands right now, and we are working through some processes to eventually make contact with him and eventually take him into custody.
Is it one suspect?
Just one suspect.
Does he have a gun?
Yes.
And he shot at officers earlier tonight?
Yes.
How many times did he shoot at officers?
I don't know how many rounds, but it was multiple rounds. It was heavy gunfire.
Have you attempted to enter the apartment yet?
No, not right now. Our SWAT team, like I said, there is a process by which they follow, and currently they're going through that. And so what we're trying to do is just work through that safely. All of the residents, I think it should be important to note that all of the residents in and around this, we'll call it an apartment or a condo, have been evacuated as well. So we stabilized that aspect to ensure that when we execute our operation, that it's done with no other civilians around.
How many people were evacuated? Any idea how many?
Resident-wise? Yeah. No, I don't have that number right now.
And any communication with the person that is barricaded inside?
Yeah, we as a part of what we're doing, you know, we have our negotiators down here. Of course, if that's unsuccessful, then our SWAT team takes different approaches before we physically were to make entry.
Those officers were part of the Boone County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, they are our deputies, both males, and again, like I said, what we would consider, you know, seasoned vets to law enforcement.
What was the warrant for?
The warrant was a felony warrant for flagrant non-support. So it was a child support warrant with a $14,000 bond on it that they were attempting to execute this evening.
10 o'clock tonight, around the time?
Right around that time, give or take. That's when the mass notification went out, and that mass notification to the command staff went out just basically right after the incident occurred.
You said they're in stable condition.
Mm-hmm.
One's currently in surgery.
Correct.
Do you have any idea where they were shot on their body?
I don't want to get into that right now, but they were shot multiple times.
Both officers?
Yes.
Shot multiple.
Sustained multiple gunshot wounds, yes.
One of your own, 2 of your own are in the hospital. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're upset about it. You know, this is something that, you know, they themselves and their families, you know, this is the worst nightmare type of situation. And so, you know, we're going to do everything we can to do this the right way, to not undermine what they went through tonight, but absolutely we want to ensure that their safety and their healing up at the hospital, and their privacy, of course, is respected. Their family's privacy is respected, because this is the call that no spouse, no mother, no father ever wants to experience.
The man inside still has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still an unsafe situation for officers?
Yeah, I mean, this is still extremely volatile. You know, when you take into consideration that he fired multiple times on multiple officers, with 2 of them being hit, you know, until we can secure, our SWAT team can give us the all clear that this scene is safe, we're going to treat this as a very high risk type of scenario.
You mentioned doing this right. Could you speak to some of the technology being deployed to negotiate to deal with this suspect?
Yeah, we utilize drones where we can. That's something that we've done, of course, in the past. It's pretty well documented. We've talked about those a lot. There's other forms of technology that we utilize to try to communicate with the suspect inside. You know, sometimes we're successful in that, sometimes we're not. That's really dependent on him. And, you know, this whole thing, I think it's important to realize the outcome of this is strictly dependent upon him, you know, and in this case, we want to ensure that he understands, which I'm sure he does at this point, what his actions were. I'm sure he knows that he shot 2 deputies, and then the outcome of no one else being hurt is strictly dependent upon him.
We're hearing rumors
Cincinnati-
about his background. Is there anything that you know about his background that you can share?
Nothing right now, nothing that I can confirm right now.
Cincinnati Police Chief is at the hospital right now. Do you know why she's there at all?
Well, we have, of course, we have a good relationship with the Cincinnati Police Department. You know, our deputies are in now their jurisdiction, and it's really just in a support capacity to ensure that everything that we may need on that side of the river is taken care of within their jurisdiction.
Is the man inside talking with negotiators right now?
Not that I know of right now.
Were the officers in bulletproof vests or anything?
Yes, they were fully outfitted and their standard uniform, whether it's an outer vest or a vest that's underneath their uniform, depending on what uniform they were wearing. But nonetheless, they had their ballistic vest. As you would imagine any police officer, that's how they looked.
When they tried to serve the warrant, did he fired first?
Yeah.
And did he fire through the door, or was the door open?
No, our deputies made entry into the house, and that's when they took fire.
This was around 10.
Yeah, again, I don't have the exact time, but right around 10 or just before 10.
Lieutenant, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We want to make sure, again, we care about our guys, and notwithstanding the command staff and all of these other agencies that came in a support capacity, we got guys who took gunfire tonight. We got guys who were shot tonight, and so I would be lying if I said we weren't upset about that. Of course we're upset about that. This is not what anybody anticipated, right? And so we're just doing, again, we're going to do right by this situation, do right by them, and make sure that we take care of this in a safe and professional manner.
Were the officers that were hit able to return fire at all?
We don't believe that there was any fire returned. As soon as they were hit, all of those who were there immediately went to try to get them out of the scene.
For the neighbors and the surrounding people that lived there after they were evacuated, are they being held for the night somewhere, or are they expected to return to their homes at some point?
I don't have a definitive answer on that. Of course, if this thing went long, we would work with our community partners and find accommodations for them. However, at this point, I can't really say one way or the other on that. Anybody else?
Thank you very much for